full screen. So I just go with my pencil. Okay, so I know we are going fast yesterday, and I want to make a video to make sure that you kind of have a reference to look at. I have Julian right here, so he's going to tell me if I am not making sense. Right, Julian? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're part of this video.
Yep.
Okay, all right, here we go. So we always ask ourselves what, Julian? What's the first thing we ask?
What's happening?
What's happening to x, right? And we have four choices. We have subtracting, adding, multiplying, or dividing. Those are the four things that can happen to x, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is happening to x here?
It's being divided.
That is absolutely right. So there's two ways that we do dividing. We do dividing like this, or we do dividing and it looks like a fraction. It actually is a fraction. It can be both. It can be a fraction, right? It can be a ratio, and it can be a dividing problem. So what's happening to x right now is it's dividing. So what is the opposite or inverse of dividing, Julian?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply. And what are we going to multiply on this first one?
7 times x.
That is absolutely correct. You listened yesterday. Yes, you did. He's shaking his head. Yes, you can't see that. So we're going to multiply, and how it looks is just like that. Now we're going to do the both on both sides. And why do we make this line down the middle, Julian?
So it's more easier, so you can read.
Yeah,
so
you know that it's a teeter-totter, and what you do on one side, you put a person over here, you got to put a person over here, right? What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. If you put a big person over here, you have to put a big person over here. Okay, so we did the same on both sides, didn't we?
Yep.
All right, so 7 over 7, when we see 7 over 7, that is the same as what, Julian?
1.
1. And 1 times x equals what, Julian?
1.
Well, does it 1 times x?
Oh, 1 times x equals x.
It equals x. So when we do 7 over 7, these cancel because they're the same as 1. 1 times x equals x. All right, Julian, this is going to be a tough one. I know you don't. Here's a calculator, just in case you need it. 20 times 7.
107. Wait, no. 114. 140.
40. I'm putting him on the spot. He knows that, but I'm putting him on the spot. So x is 140. How do we check that? We put it back in there. 140 divided by 7, and when you put this in the calculator, you should get 20, and you do. All right, so that's one example. Let's do one more. We'll do this one. Okay, Julian, tell me what we're going to do first.
So y divided by 8.
Okay, so stop right there. Y, you just said a really important thing. You asked yourself what is happening to y, and you said it's being divided.
Yep.
Okay, so then what do we do for the inverse of dividing?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. And so we're going to multiply by 8. This really is not that hard. It just looks hard. Okay, so we're going to multiply by 8. So these cancel, and 5 times 8 is 40. And y equals 40. Okay, when we do the check, it works out. 40 divided by 8 equals 5. Okay, let's jump ahead here to some multiplication. So we have 4 times z equals 240. What is I guess I kind of gave it away. What's happening to z? It's multiplying. What is the inverse of multiplying?
Dividing.
Okay, so how this looks is you just go divide by 4, divide by 4. These cancel, because 4 over 4 is 1, just like in the other one. And do 240 divided by 4.
240 divided by 4 equals 60.
60, perfect. You are absolutely right. It is 60. Okay, now let's get to some hard ones. All right, this is like the homework. These are hard. We're going to use what we just learned and do it with some fractions. So let's do x. This is number 1 on the homework. Oops, I am sorry. Let's start over. X minus 3/8 equals 1/4. Okay, so this is just like the other problems we did so many of. So let's ask ourselves, what are we doing here?
Adding.
We are subtracting right now. So
Yeah.
what do we need to do?
Add.
Add. Yeah, you're jumping ahead. Yeah, let's add. Make our line here, and we're going to add. Okay, so we're going to add 3/8. Okay, you owe your mom 3/8 of a dollar. Now, I don't know. I can't tell you what that is right now. I'd have to think about it, but it doesn't matter because you owe her 3/8 of a dollar, but you give her 3/8 of a dollar. How much do you owe her now? 0. So we didn't even have to do any work. As long as we know if we owe somebody something and we give them the same thing, it's always going to be 0. Okay, so what do we have left here? X. Okay, now we have to do the same thing on the other side, plus 3/8. Now the great thing about the calculator that we use the TI-30, and I think the TI-34 is the same thing. And I know you can't see this, people, but on the calculator it has a really nice little key on it that's N with a D. This is your what key?
Your fraction key?
Your fraction key. And when you press that, then you get this blinking box and a blinking box. And then what you use is this little joystick on the calculator to move your thing around, and you just put in this joystick or in this little blinking box your problem. So 1/4, and then you hit the plus sign, and then you hit the ND sign again, so you get another box, and then you put in 3/8, and through the magic of electronics, you get
5/8.
you get what?
5/8.
You get 5/8. Yep, you get 5/8, and it even reduces it for you. So we don't even have to remember how to do adding of fractions because the calculator is going to help us. If we wanted to do it, we could make common denominators. So I would times this by 2, times by 2. This would be 2/8, and then I still have my 3/8. And I would add those. Now our common denominator, we cut the pizza into 8 pieces. So we ate 2 pieces and then we ate 3 pieces. So we ate 5 pieces of the pizza out of 8. Yep. That ain't that hard, is it?
No.
No, it's not that hard. All right. Let's do one that might be harder. All right. Give me your hardest one.
This one.
That one.
4.
Okay. So we're going to do Julian's hardest one on his first page. X minus 1/2 equals 1 1/4. Okay, first step, Julian. What's happening to X?
It's being subtracted.
Subtracted. And so what were we going to do? The inverse of that is?
Plus.
Plus. Absolutely. I'm putting him on the spot. He's doing awesome. This is going to be my best seller. Probably will be, right? I'm going to make exactly a whole bunch of money. 0. All right, so we're going to plus on this side too. Okay, so that leaves, I owe my wife half a dollar, and then I pay her half a dollar. I don't owe her any more. We are even. Okay, so in your handy dandy calculator, put 1 1/4, so type 1, and then, yeah, hit your fraction key after you hit the 1.
So 1 fraction key to that.
Oh, okay, so here's where he's having trouble. He's getting the fraction first. No, what we want to do is we want to hit 1 because we have a whole number, and then we're going to hit the fraction key. Oh, I see what it's doing. Ooh. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so we're going to hit 1, and then we're going to hit, ooh. I see where you're at. I see what you're trying to say here. Okay, give me a second here. This new calculator, I am... Oh, I know what we have to do. There's actually a special key.
Second.
Yes, we have to hit second. There's a U and D. So it looks like this. It looks like U and D. That's the one that has the mixed. We can put 1 1/4. That works. Can you just tell the person knocking on the door to stand out there and tell people we need exactly 4 more minutes? That they're going to tell people that. Okay, so we're going to hit that new key, and now we can put in 1 1/4. Yeah, this is top of the line calculator. You can get it for like $16. So if you don't have a TI-30 or a TI-34, this is the calculator to get because it makes it so much easier because it can do fractions. All right. All right, there we did. We put it in. 1 1/4 plus 1 1/2 is 7 fourths. Now this is right, but we can also make this a mixed number. How many 4s go into 7?
1,
1. And how many do we have left over?
3, 4.
3 fourths. All right. Now let's do a 1. So that was adding and subtracting. Let's turn the page over. Oh, you don't. Oh, here's a multiplying. Let's do a multiplying. 1/5 x equals 2. Now these are really easy, people. Once you see how to do this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. All right, so what are we doing here, Julian?
Multiply.
Multiplying. Okay, so we have to divide. So all I'm going to do is make a line and do that. Okay, so this is dividing. And we can have, when we have a number over another number, we know that's dividing. We can actually have a fraction over another fraction. You can do that. Yeah. Yeah, and that is the same as 1 because these are the same thing. So this still is just x equals, and then we have to do it over here. Okay, so in your calculator, do 2 divided by,
2 divided by
and then hit the fraction key.
fraction.
Put 1/5.
Equals 10.
10. That's it. That's it. That's the answer.
Good job.
All right. Now we're going to do one more to fill up our whole thing here. We need a dividing one. I don't see any dividing problems on this. Okay, we're going to make one up. We're going to make up x divided by 1/2 equals, we'll make it easy, 10. Okay, so we have a dividing problem now. All right, so what we have to do, if we're dividing, x is dividing, what is the inverse of dividing?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So we're going to multiply this by 1/2. Those cancel. Okay, and we're going to I don't have a lot of room. Let me get rid of this. We're going to multiply by 1/2. When I do the parentheses, that means multiplying when it's right next to each other. Okay, so 1/2 cancels. We have our x left. And 10 times 1/2, I can even do that without a calculator, is 5. Yep.
Yep, you're right.
All right. Okay, so any questions? It seems easy now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Julian. You were awesome. Now I bet we did. Hopefully we actually got this.